Morning, guys. It's good to be interacting with you again. I'm going to give you my report. This is what I was going to try and share last week, but was unable to, unfortunately. Just didn't have time and then couldn't tune back in afterwards. This is actually my second take of this. My first one, I looked really sad and really hungover. It just didn't look good, so I wanted to redo it and try and look a little perkier and happier. Apparently, I need more of my coffee, so if you see me take a sip, I apologize. But I want to dive right in. I'm going to give you guys the current state of my ongoing projects and what I've been working on. I want to give you a little taster of some of the things I was able to get done over the summer, and then my next steps moving forward and being able to check in with you guys next week. We'll start off with this. The reason I haven't been able to interact with you guys as much is that I have had just massive data crises the beginning of this semester. My computer crashed on August 29th, so of course, first week of the semester, just done. But I managed to get everything onto my external hard drive. Made me realize the need for data redundancies. I was going to plan on setting that up as soon as Microsoft got me my computer back. It was a warranty issue, so it was a free replacement. It took them 2.5 weeks to get my computer back to me, and that was me hounding them at least every other day. Wouldn't have been a big deal, except that my external hard drive, our old blue one that I used to have and be very proud of, used to be the key word. 2 days after my computer crashed, that hard drive crashed. I don't know much about hard drive hardware, no pun intended, but the little data arm that's inside of it that reads it like a record player, reads the hard drive, done. It stopped working for whatever reason. It should have been a warranty issue, but Seagate was not friendly with me. I'm not going to get into that whole ordeal, but if you guys are interested, I will tell you the story sometime. It took them a week to diagnose the hardware problem here at my local computer shop, but they did not have the facilities to repair it, so I had to send it out to California, which it took them close to 3 weeks to get it all done. But last week, they finally sent me my replacement, and the great news about it is that it looks like I've got everything back. It looks like 100% data recovery. On my to-do list this weekend is actually to dive in and make sure that I have everything important. Drone photo backups, all my GIS stuff. But most importantly, I have already verified that I got my my artifact spreadsheets back that I spent a month and a half this summer building. I really thought that I might be either going back to Peru or retiring from my master's early, because if those were gone, it would have been a very difficult to replace. I've already begun implementing multiple redundant backups. I've got my personal OneDrive backing up a lot of things. I'm going to migrate everything to the Michigan State OneDrive because we have much more storage space on there. I've got a micro SD card in my Surface computer. I didn't know it actually had a micro SD port. Now I do. And a friend of mine is helping me set that to be an automatic backup so that anything I save just mirrors right to that. I also have the hard drive, and I might even, the external hard drive, and I might put in a Google backup as well, but I haven't decided how much is just overkill. But anyway, let's start talking about some cool stuff instead of, I guess getting data back is cool. But let's talk about projects. Reminding you guys of my little research area there, southern Peru. I'm going to talk about 2 spots. This is Quebrada Jaguay on the southern coast. This is some Inca roads in the Andes near Corupuna. The damage assessment, the Quebrada Jaguay was a damage assessment. Last summer in 2017, we excavated. We put in excavation pits on the northern end here, and we put in a 3x3 meter block here. This orthophoto was provided by Peter Leach. He flew drone in July, early July before we started excavating. And this is what I flew in June of 2018. As you can see, we've had some change. We'll start up north, and you'll have to forgive the red circles. These were taken from a presentation with less discriminating eyes. I had to really point things out. In the top, we had some encroachment of the gravel mining operation that was there. It had existed in 2017, but they're starting to move in closer to the site. This house used to be occupied, but now it's been abandoned and nobody is watching over the site. But what's more important is this area near where we put in our 3x3 meter block. And let me show you exactly what's been happening. This used to be a talus slope, but now has been completely undercut on the site. The talus slope would have extended somewhere into this bank roughly, and they have completely undercut it. You can see up here that some of the site is already falling into this newly formed quebrada, and they've really destroyed the integrity of the upper terrace. So it's not, at this point, we really believe it's not a matter of if we're going to lose the site, it's going to be a matter of when. Hopefully we can either get back and do some salvage work on it, some more salvage work, or as with archaeology, we're just going to lose it. And that's unfortunate, it's tragic, but that is the way it is. We produced maps and aerial photos for the Ministry of Culture in Peru. However, they don't seem to be in a big rush to try and save this. There are many reasons for that, but I'm not going to go into all of them here. The next thing is a little more of a cheery subject. Some cool recording and some cool drone work and learning cool things about my drone, the Mavic. We got to record some Inca roads up in the highlands. This actually comes from an Inca way station. You can see coming up the middle here is an Inca road. This is an older one. It merges into this guy here, which we believe is an Inca road. It might have been modern disturbance. It's been a couple months since I've been there. I'd have to review my notes, and I don't have them on me. But this next photo, it's kind of a rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. So our original road comes in here. We have all of these structures which indicate the way station. This would have been the confluence of several roads, we believe. And this one that I showed you before, sorry, I thought I heard somebody, goes into this next one that we wanted to record. This is up in the foothills of Coropuna, and foothills is a relative term because we're still extremely high. The last road site and way station was at about 4,900 meters above sea level. This was much higher, and I will get into that in just a moment. But this is an Inca road that comes up here, it kind of disappears into the snow. Kurt wanted to get the images and a little bit of video to model this road and have Coropuna in the background of it because it's just absolutely gorgeous when it's a sunny day. However, as you can see, the weather did not cooperate with us this day. But it did lead to some cool insights on the drone, especially with my second flight. This managed to happen. It's about a quick 20-second video. I was going to try and I set the drone to follow mode, and we're going to have just this really nice PR piece of us walking the Inca road in the snow, aerial photos, aerial video, and this happened. I have again tested the resilience of my drone. It came down in a crash, not a bad one. As you can see, it was still trying to maintain a little bit of altitude. And what actually happened was that the drone iced up. It froze. Those are the propellers on the left. They were pretty much solid ice on the top. We were looking at the underside there. And that was complemented by all of the ice that was on the drone arms and the drone itself. Luckily, all the components are fine. I managed to fly the drone the next day and the day after, doing some modeling work for our friend Dave. And I'll show that in the next week or two, I think. That's some really interesting stuff, fun stuff. So what we learned with the high-altitude flights is that, of course, the Mavic can fly at very high altitudes. DJI lists the ceiling of the Mavic at about 5,000 meters above sea level. And in these two snow flights, I was actually starting at closer to 5,100, just shy of that. And I was getting good flight times, actually. Probably 15 to 18 minutes for that first one. I don't remember exactly. Little less than 20, but I would count that as a win in the high altitude. The propellers were working very hard to keep it up that high. It might have trouble in some of the warmer days. With the air thinner, I still think it would take off, but I think that the flight time would be even more reduced with the thin, warm air. Excuse me. I did learn that snow and drones only mix for a short amount of time, but I think that is that's a surmountable problem. You just have to be very discerning on what you fly in the snow. And of course, it is another example of Mavic resilience. I managed to crash it once, twice, a couple times. Earl knows how much I love to test that resilience. Finally, I just want to talk to you guys about what I'm doing, what I'm continuing on. The first thing is that Kurt wants a formal thesis proposal. So I'm working on that very diligently. He'll have that hopefully by early next week, and then I can move on to bigger and better things. I'm also in the process of rebuilding my GIS information, maps and things. Problem I've run into is that our lab computers are running ArcGIS 10.3. All my stuff was made in ArcGIS 10.5, and I didn't have the foresight to make sure that I could make those reverse compatible. I must have missed a setting. So I'm looking for a computer with Arc 10.5. I'm sure we have it somewhere on campus. I also bought a license for ArcGIS. It was only $1. I love this school sometimes. I'm going to be installing that on my computer. Hopefully it's 10.5. If not, I will cross that bridge when I come to it. The second bullet down says I need to get a Pix4D license for modeling, which is true. What it really should say, though, is that I need to be continuing my talks with the geography department. I'm working on getting my GIS certificate through them. They are directly transferring in the remote sensing of the environment class and Tom, your GIS class. However, we're coming into a little bit of an issue with the other two classes they require. They want one advanced elective, which would be advanced cartography is what they want to put me in, which is fine. I have no issues taking that. But also they want me to take an intro to GIS class. One of the advisors doesn't think it's necessary, but the person who's actually in charge of the certificate has not been flexible on that. My tuition waiver would not cover an introduction class. It's only about a 200 level. So we're in discussions. We're going to get that sorted out hopefully in the next couple weeks. Other than that, that's all I've got for today. If you have any questions, love to hear them. Put contact information there, my email address, and you can always just message me on the Slack channel. I will not be able to be here next week. I will be running my first ultra marathon. I will be in Iowa. I'll give you guys the link, though. The race has an app for tracking GPS positions. You guys can see where I'm suffering at that moment, if you guys so choose. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot. It's been fun. Watch your videos when I have a chance, probably this afternoon, and I will talk to you again soon.